right in the middle of downtown Atlanta. You see the Olympic rings here behind me. In 1996, Atlanta was host to the Summer Olympic Games, Atlanta 96, and a bomb went off right in the middle of this park right here behind me. People were accused publicly, and then it was discovered that they were not guilty, and it ultimately led them down a path to a man who was responsible for a few other bombings. Today, I'm not only going to be in Atlanta, but around this area, and we are going to talk about the 1996 Atlanta Summer Olympic Games bombing by Eric Rudolph. It's a wild story with twists and turns. I've been wanting to do this one for a while. Centennial Olympic Park. That's the story of today's video. Atlanta 96. The 1996 Olympics that went down right here. In 1996, I would have been 12 years old. So I was just at that age where, like, I remember I was watching it on TV and I remember all of it. Of course, at the time, I didn't know all of the backstories, and I just remember watching the Olympics and seeing an explosion, a bomb go off, and then it being chaos for some time after that. I have actually come here to Centennial Olympic Park a few times in the past because I wanted to do this story, but that's just been over the last few years, and COVID has been a thing, and because of that, this park has been closed, so I haven't had a good chance to really come in and do anything. This monument was actually built and made for Centennial Olympic Park for those 96 Olympics. It was here when the bomb went off and the ensuing chaos afterwards. If this monument is right here, that means the stand where that bomb actually went off was just right over here somewhere. That would mean this spot about right here. This is the spot where the bomb was detonated. Right here. That's it. That's wild. On this sculpture itself, although they've redone most of it, this is a piece of the explosion right there. It's what they call the bomb fragment mark, and it's been well notated and documented, and there's a few other places on this monument, but when the bomb went off, a piece of the bomb hit that spot of this monument, and they left it there. On July the 27th of 1996, this whole park here was just completely filled with people. They had concerts going and several stages set up and all kind of vendors, and there were thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people here in the park celebrating the Olympics. A little after midnight on that July 27th, thousands of people were gathered over here in this area of Centennial Olympic Park. There was a concert going on by a band, Jack Mack and the Heart Attack.
Oh yeah, are we still out there? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We're gonna party till the sun comes up, man. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But you know what? See, right about now we have the privilege of working with this.
Wow. time I didn't want to be another person.
And nobody's bothering you, right?
Well.
Get out there. Get out there.
They had a giant stage set up, and like right here in front of me, they had this huge multi-tier tower, and it was for the audio people. That way they could control the volume and the sound for the concert. And directly in front of that tower, they had benches on all sides of it for people to be able to sit down. 18 minutes before the bomb would go off, the FBI received a 911 call that basically said, hey, there's a bomb that's gonna go off in 30 minutes. It was about that same time that an Olympic security guard named Richard Jewell discovered a like military backpack sitting under a bench right over here. The sound stage tower thing would have been right here, and right in front of it there was a bench, and the military pack was sitting underneath it. Inside of it were 3 homemade pipe bombs that were filled with nails and all kind of stuff like that to do a lot of damage. The bomb was actually designed to do a lot more damage. It could have killed a lot more people, but at some point the FBI says the bomb inside of the bag, the contents of the bag, it had either fallen over or somebody had moved it, and the way the bomb was positioned inside of the bag, the majority of the blast was absorbed by the ground. So for whatever reason it got moved, and had it not been moved, more people more than likely would have died, and it would have caused way more destruction. As soon as the bag was found, Richard Jewell and other security guards too, they started clearing the area, trying to get as many people as far away as they could. 3 minutes after the bag was found and they had started clearing people out of the area, that bomb detonated. Fortunately, because of Richard Jewell and the other security guards' quick thinking, only one person was killed when the bomb went off. 110 other people were injured, but they survived. And the one person that was killed wasn't close to the blast. She had been evacuated, but when it went off and the nails went flying, a nail punctured her skull, and she died a short while later at the hospital. Outside of the 111 people who were either injured and the one person who was killed, there was another man who actually died. He was a Turkish television channel reporter, and he was here covering the Olympics. And once they started evacuating people, he started running to the scene to film it, and he suffered a fatal heart attack and passed away. It was not directly attributed to the bombing directly. Otherwise, those numbers would be 112 people.
The bombing at Centennial Olympic Park this morning was an evil act of terror. On behalf of all Americans, let me extend my condolences to the families of those who lost their lives and our prayers to those who were injured. I want to thank the brave security personnel who were on the scene. They saw the package. They alerted the bomb squad. They cleared the crowd. They prevented a much greater loss of life.
In the days after the bombing, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, Atlanta's newspaper, they had a source who told them that Richard Jewell was the main suspect. That was the security guard who found the bomb. All of the major news outlets followed suit, just taking the Atlanta Journal-Constitution story and reporting it on their own. They all basically said that Richard Jewell had placed this bomb there so that he could evacuate people, and that he did it to get attention. The FBI quickly started investigating Richard Jewell. They raided his home, and they took computers and tools and all kind of stuff out of his home, and that just escalated these reports that Richard Jewell was the culprit here. It took the FBI 88 days after the explosion to clear Richard Jewell as a suspect.
In its rush to show the world how quickly it could get its man, the FBI trampled on my rights as a citizen. In its rush for the headline that the hero was the bomber, the media cared nothing for my feelings as a human being.
Because this had affected Richard Jewell so negatively, like I said, even though he was cleared, people still treated him like a criminal. And this was attributed to the fact that the FBI and all of the major media outlets, they came out and said that Richard had done this without actually having the proof of that. So he would go on to sue all of those media outlets, NBC, CNN, CBS, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. There was a whole ton of them. He sued them all, and because all of those lawsuits were settled out of court, those numbers are not available since they didn't have a trial. It's not public record. But there have been reports that at least one of the companies paid Richard Jewell upwards of $500,000. 6 months later, another bomb was set off at an abortion clinic here in Atlanta, injuring 7 people. The next month, another bomb was set off at a nightclub, injuring 4 more people. And then in January of 1998, another bomb was detonated at an abortion clinic in Birmingham, Alabama. As the ATF and the FBI were investigating these bombings, they were able to tell that all 4 bombs were made identical. So they already knew that this was one person they were looking for. But at that last bombing in Birmingham, Alabama, someone actually saw Eric Rudolph leaving the bomb, and they made a note of his license plate because they thought it looked suspicious. They were able to give that plate number to law enforcement, and that was how law enforcement connected all of the dots to Eric Rudolph. A massive manhunt went underway with the FBI, the ATF, local law enforcement, the Secret Service, anyone and everyone that you could think of. It was probably one of the biggest manhunts ever in the United States. On May the 5th of 1998, Eric Rudolph was officially bumped up on the FBI's most wanted list to the top 10. And a $1 million reward was offered for any information that led to his arrest. Eric Rudolph managed to stay on the run for an additional 5 years after this, and what he basically lived off the land. He went up into the North Carolina mountains and he just lived off the land. He didn't come into town for food, and that was how he evaded capture for so long, because no one seen him. On May the 31st of 2003, a rookie police officer, brand new police officer, stumbled across a man who was pillaging or plumaging through a trash can in Murphy, North Carolina. He stopped this man and detained him, and upon identifying him, he realized that this man was Eric Rudolph, and he immediately placed him under arrest and took him into custody. Eric Rudolph at that time, he was unarmed, and he did not even resist. It was like he was tired of being on the run and ready to give up. On April the 8th of 2005, Eric Rudolph took a plea deal where he would plead guilty to all of the charges against him in exchange for them taking the death penalty off of the table. Eric took the deal, and then he revealed to law enforcement that he had made bombs and positioned them throughout the forest of North Carolina where he was living. So he revealed where these bombs were, and bomb squads all went up there, and they dismantled and removed over 250 pounds of dynamite, basically, that Eric Rudolph had positioned throughout this mountainside where he was staying. So I guess if law enforcement were to come in and come after him, he was just gonna blow everything and kill them all. Part of his plea deal was that he revealed that information, or any other information that he knew that law enforcement didn't, and that was part of it. That's just wild. By August the 22nd of 2005, Eric Rudolph had been officially sentenced to 4 life sentences without the possibility of parole. he was loaded up and shipped off to ADX Florence. It's a Supermax federal prison. It's like the toughest prison in America. He spends 23 hours a day alone in just an 80-foot concrete square box, basically. It's a cell made out of concrete. There's nothing in there, and he's all by himself 23 hours a day, and that's how he'll spend the rest of his life. Last year in 2021, Eric Rudolph tried to have part of his conviction vacated, actually. Ultimately, it was unsuccessful, and his sentences were upheld, his convictions were upheld, but he tried. He wanted, I don't know, I guess he thought maybe he could get out of prison one day, who knows. Just 2 years after Rudolph's sentencing, on August the 29th of 2007, Richard Jewell would pass away at the age of 44 from complications related to diabetes. Eric Rudolph would later go on to describe in his memoirs that he committed these serial bombings because the government legalized abortion, and he was obviously against that. That is going to do it for this video today from right here in the middle of downtown Atlanta, looking at the eye here. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video today. I really appreciate it. If you're new here, go down, hit that subscribe button, then hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. If you're one of those interested in supporting the channel, there's links in the description box below. Thank you all. I will see you again tomorrow. Please stay safe and stay healthy. Much love to you all.